Tragic accident claims life of Bagotstown motorcyclist. A tragic accident occurred yesterday afternoon, resulting in the death of 23-year-old Ezekiel Costello, a motorcyclist from Bagotstown. The incident took place in the vicinity of Banks DIH Thirsk Park, where Costello reportedly lost control of his motorcycle while navigating traffic. Initial reports indicate that Costello's motorcycle collided with a canter truck, leading to the fatal outcome. Emergency services were called to the scene, but unfortunately, they pronounced him dead upon arrival. This incident is a heartbreaking reminder of the dangers present on our roads. Authorities are conducting an investigation to determine the circumstances surrounding the accident and to ensure that appropriate measures are taken to enhance road safety. Our thoughts and condolences go out to the family and friends of Ezekiel Costello during this difficult time. Bartica resident pleads guilty to DUI charge, fined $200,000. Keithlyn David, a 36-year-old resident of Bartica, appeared before the Bartica Magistrate Court on Thursday to face charges of driving under the influence, DUI. The hearing was presided over by Magistrate Tariq Muhammad. David was charged with operating a motor vehicle while his breath alcohol level exceeded the prescribed limit, in violation of Section 39A(1) of the Motor Vehicle and Road Traffic Act, Chapter 51:02, as amended by Act 17 of 2022. During the proceedings, David pleaded guilty to the charge. Magistrate Muhammad imposed a fine of $200,000, with an alternative of 3 months' imprisonment if the fine is not paid. This case serves as a reminder of the serious consequences associated with driving under the influence, and the authorities continue to emphasize the importance of road safety and responsible driving. Water taxi operator overcharging passengers suspended indefinitely. The Maritime Administration Department, MARAD, is aware of a video circulating on social media showing a boat operator plying the Georgetown to Vreden Hoop route, verbally abusing passengers and illegally demanding fares above the approved level of $100. MARAD strongly condemns such behavior and wishes to inform the public that the captain and the bowman of the vessel in question have since been suspended indefinitely. Passengers are reminded that the water taxi fare between Georgetown and Vreden Hoop remains at $100, regardless of the time of the day. Any boat operator not adhering to the approved fare structure should be reported immediately to MARAD. Wanted person arrested in Berbice. At approximately 12:30 p.m. today, police successfully apprehended Ramlagan Mahadio, also known as Dado, a 27-year-old construction worker from Lot 154 4th Street, Martyrsville, Mon Repos, East Coast Demerara. Mahadio was wanted in connection with the alleged murder of Kenrick Hakim, which occurred on December 19, 2024, in Martyrsville. The arrest took place during a police intelligence-led operation conducted by ranks from Regional Police Division No. 6, under the command of Senior Superintendent Shivprasad Bacchus. The operation was executed at Blackbush Polder in Quarantine, Berbice. Authorities continue to emphasize their commitment to ensuring public safety and bringing individuals who commit violent acts to justice. Mon Repos M Dies after brutal assault by tenants. Big Smith News Watch, Kenrick Hakim, a 50-year-old resident of Lot 142 4th Street, Martyrs Village, Mon Repos, East Coast Demerara, tragically lost his life on December 19, 2024, following a brutal confrontation with his tenants over loud music. According to reports, the incident involved tenants Sarah Prasad and Ramlagan Mahadio, known as Dado, who were playing loud music at the residence. Neighbors expressed their concerns about the noise, prompting Hakim to address the issue directly with his tenants. During the confrontation, it is alleged that Prasad and Mahadio attacked Hakim with a piece of wood, striking him violently until he lost consciousness. He was subsequently transported to the Georgetown Public Hospital, where he sadly succumbed to his injuries. Authorities are investigating the circumstances surrounding this incident, and further updates will be provided as the situation develops. Toshao's killer charged and remanded to prison. Noah Beaton, a 26-year-old suspect, has been charged with the murder of Toshao Ridley Joseph and remanded to prison following a brief appearance before Chief Magistrate Faith McGusty at the Georgetown Magistrates Court on Friday. Beaton reportedly confessed to the stabbing death of Toshao Joseph earlier this week. The charge stems from a brutal attack that occurred at the Signature Inn Hotel in Georgetown, where Joseph was stabbed 19 times. The incident took place between 12:50 a.m. and 7:30 a.m. on Monday, shortly after Joseph checked into the hotel at approximately 6:23 p.m. on Sunday. Investigations revealed that he left the hotel shortly after checking in and returned around 12:50 a.m. in the company of Beaton. Upon returning, Joseph purchased a bottle of water from the receptionist before proceeding to his room. Witnesses reported that Beaton was seen leaving the hotel around 2:19 a.m. Upon investigation, police found several reddish stains on the walkway leading to the room, and a hole in the door that appeared to be made by a sharp object. Joseph was discovered lying on his abdomen, leading to the gruesome findings reported by the hotel's receptionist. The court has adjourned the matter to January 31, 2025. This case highlights the need for ongoing vigilance and safety measures within our communities. Venezuelan national arrested with narcotics at police roadblock in Bartica. In a significant drug-related incident, police ranks conducting roadblock duties along the 1-mile Bartica-Potaro Road apprehended a male Venezuelan national found in possession of cocaine early this morning at approximately 1:30 a.m. The police stopped a motor vehicle bearing registration number PWW 1175 during their routine checks. Inside the car were the driver, 47-year-old Leonid Tobin, a teacher, and a passenger who identified himself as 23-year-old Ulis Majanes, a Venezuelan national. Majanes was observed acting suspiciously, prompting further investigation by the officers. Upon searching both the occupants and the vehicle, nothing illegal was found on the driver or within the vehicle. However, during a search of Ulis Majanes, police discovered several pieces of whitish rock-like substances suspected to be cocaine concealed in his left side pants waist. Majanes was informed of the offense and chose to remain silent. He was subsequently escorted to the Bartica police station, where the substance was weighed in his presence, totaling 3 grams of cocaine. Ulis Majanes has been placed into custody and is expected to face charges related to the possession of narcotics. The police continue to strengthen their efforts in combating drug-related crimes in the region. Further investigations are ongoing. Driver charged in Tuschen accident resulting in death of 2 pedestrians. Vikash Duneo, the driver involved in a tragic accident on December 15 in Tuschen, East Bank Essequibo, has been formally charged following the deaths of 2 pedestrians, Yvette Daniels and Vishnadat Mohabir. Duneo, the operator of motorcar #PKK 9890, faced multiple charges, including driving a motor vehicle while his breath alcohol level exceeded the prescribed limit, in violation of Section 39A(1) of the Motor Vehicle and Road Traffic Act, Chapter 51:02. Operating an unlighted motor vehicle, front, a breach of Regulation 35(1) of the Motor Vehicles and Road Traffic Regulation, Chapter 51:02. During his appearance before Magistrate Alicia George at the Leonora Magistrate Court, Duneo pleaded guilty to the charges. He was fined $200,000 for the DUI charge, with an alternative sentence of 2 months imprisonment and an additional fine of $10,000 for the unlighted motor vehicle. In a related matter, the police have prepared a file regarding the charge of causing death by dangerous driving and have sent it to the Director of Public Prosecutions, DPP, for further advice. This incident underscores the critical importance of road safety and responsible driving practices within our communities. Logger convicted of manslaughter in death of Wiruni youth. Guyana Chronicle, at the Demerara High Court, 29-year-old logger Marlon La Rose has been convicted of manslaughter in the death of 24-year-old Kevin Hercules from Wiruni, Upper Demerara River. The jury reached this verdict on December 16, opting for the lesser charge after La Rose was initially indicted for murder. La Rose remains in custody and is scheduled for sentencing on January 17, 2025. The case, presided over by Justice Sandal Kasun, stemmed from an incident that occurred between September 12 and 13, 2021. Hercules' body was discovered in the Berbice River on September 14, 2021, exhibiting signs of violent injury. According to the Guyana Police Force, GPF, Hercules was last seen alive drinking with friends at a local shop before leaving by boat. His body was found with severe facial mutilations and a neck wound, indicating foul play. The prosecution, led by State Counsel Alvaro Ramatar and State Counsel Delon Fraser, presented compelling evidence regarding the circumstances of Hercules' death. In contrast, the defense, represented by attorney Ronald Bostwick, sought to discredit the prosecution's claims. After reviewing the evidence, Justice Kasun directed the jury, which subsequently deliberated before reaching a verdict. La Rosa's sentencing will consider various factors, including probation and prison reports, a victim impact statement, and other relevant mitigating and aggravating circumstances. As a resident of Maria Henrietta, Upper Berbice River, La Rose now faces a significant prison term, during which he will undergo rehabilitation. WBDM sentenced to 15 years for murder of Berbice businessman. Guyana Times, Sheldon Smith, a 25-year-old resident of Ondoniming, West Bank Demerara, has been sentenced to 15 years imprisonment for the murder of 78-year-old businessman Tony Bishnoff, also known as England Bank, who was killed on March 13, 2020, in Cotton Tree, West Coast Berbice. In addition to the murder sentence, Smith received 5 years for armed robbery and an additional 5 years for felonious wounding, all to be served consecutively. The prosecution detailed that Bisnoth was attacked and fatally shot while celebrating his birthday with friends at a snackette on Stelling Road in Rosignol. During the robbery, the attackers demanded valuables, leading to Bisnoth throwing an empty plastic bottle at one of them. He was shot in the head, while his friends sustained various gunshot injuries. Addressing the court before sentencing, Smith expressed remorse for his actions and took full responsibility, stating, "My life has changed." His defense attorney, Saria Sabsuk, argued for leniency, noting that Smith was armed with a cutlass, while his accomplices carried firearms. Prosecutor Cecilia Corbin urged the court to impose the maximum penalty, highlighting the serious injuries sustained by the victims, particularly Mahendra Nagamutu, who was unable to work for 2 years due to his wounds. In her sentencing remarks, Justice Samila Paul emphasized the planned nature of the robbery and the devastating impact of Bisnoth's death on his family, describing him as the main breadwinner. Noting the seriousness of the offense and Smith's prior convictions, she stated, "It is not okay to be robbing people of their belongings and causing them to lose lives in the process." Smith was ultimately sentenced to 21 years for Bisnoth's murder, with additional sentences for robbery and wounding. The judge acknowledged Smith's participation in rehabilitation programs while in custody, indicating he is a candidate for rehabilitation. Meanwhile, police have issued wanted bulletins for Medellin Orlando Evans and Carlos Evans, who are sought for questioning in connection with this murder. Public Works Ministry and GPL must provide credible answers for Aubrey Barker Road incident. Guyana Chronicle, in light of recent events at Aubrey Barker Road, where power poles collapsed, leaving residents without electricity, People's Progressive Party, PPP, General Secretary Dr. Barrett Jagdeo is demanding thorough explanations from both the Ministry of Public Works and the Guyana Power and Light, GPL. During a press conference on Thursday, Jagdeo emphasized the importance of accountability in public works, especially as improvements are being made to enhance the landscape of South Georgetown. He stated, "Accidents do happen, but this was not an ordinary incident. Public Works and GPL have to give a credible explanation, and I will pursue this until we get to the bottom of it." Jagdeo noted that the recent installation of concrete poles, which were moved to expand the road, appears to have been executed without adherence to proper specifications. He called on the Ministry of Public Works to clarify who designed the pole installation and to identify the contractor and supervisor involved. If the contractor did not perform adequately, it is likely they acted with the complicity of the supervisor. There should be consequences for such failures, including blacklisting and termination, he asserted. He further criticized engineering practices that have disrupted communities, highlighting unnecessary road and drainage diggings that inconvenience residents. Jagdeo pointed out that state-employed engineers are now earning competitive salaries, leaving no excuse for poor performance. It is time to start terminating individuals who fail to fulfill their responsibilities, especially those being paid by the government, he said. Recently, Prime Minister Brigadier Reddit Mark Phillips visited the site to oversee emergency repairs being conducted by GPL on Aubrey Barker Road, following the collapse of 4 concrete power poles. The PPP emphasizes the need for accountability and effective management in public infrastructure projects to prevent future incidents and ensure the safety and well-being of the community. Opposition renews call for confirmation of Chancellor and Chief Justice. News source Guyana, Opposition leader Aubrey Norton is reiterating calls for the confirmation of the acting Chancellor and acting Chief Justice in Guyana. For these positions to be filled, there must be mutual agreement between the President and the opposition leader, a condition Norton has previously expressed support for regarding Justices Yannette Cummings and Roxanne George. Mr. Norton highlighted the President's swift action to confirm a police commissioner, despite the individual exceeding the age requirement, while failing to act on the appointments of the Chancellor and Chief Justice. He noted that Guyana has not had a substantive Chancellor for nearly 2 decades, with Justice Cummings acting since 2017 and Justice George serving as Chief Justice since the same year. At a press conference, Norton emphasized that he communicated his agreement for the confirmation of Justices Cummings and George very early in his term as opposition leader. However, 2 years later, those appointments remain unfulfilled. If they were 2 people who they were sure they could control and dominate, they would have been appointed already, said Norton. He suggested that the delay in appointments may have ethnic implications, a sentiment he believes is leading to public concern. Furthermore, he criticized President Ali for what he termed an unconstitutional appointment of Clifton Hicken as Commissioner of Police, asserting he was not consulted on this decision and intends to challenge it in court. Norton pointed out that while the Chief Justice had ruled on Hickens' acting appointment, it did not extend to a substantive role. Norton accused the government of using the court's previous ruling to justify Hickens' substantive appointment, which he argues is improper. He stated that the president's letter seeking consultation was met with a suggestion for an investigation into alleged corruption within the Guyana police force, which he believes should take precedence over any appointment discussions. He also addressed concerns about Hickens' leadership, indicating that multiple allegations of corruption are present under his tenure, and called attention to Hickens' relationship with Deputy Commissioner Calvin Brutus, who faces serious charges. Norton concluded by asserting that the People's Progressive Party/Civic, PPP/C, government is complicit in covering up corruption within the police force. In response, the government has dismissed the opposition leader's claims and stated its intent to contest any legal challenges regarding Hickens' appointment. Brutus refutes claims of attempting to leave Guyana. Qaeda News, embattled Assistant Police Commissioner Calvin Brutus has categorically denied allegations made by the Ministry of Home Affairs regarding an alleged attempt to leave Guyana for Brazil. The ministry issued a statement claiming that Brutus was intercepted by law enforcement officers on December 16 while attempting to cross into Brazil through Lethem, Region 9. According to the ministry statement, a vehicle with Brazilian registration was stopped near the Tuschen Bridge, and Brutus, who is currently on administrative leave and subject to a court order prohibiting him from leaving the jurisdiction due to ongoing criminal investigations, was identified as a passenger. The statement indicated that he was subsequently returned to Ogle from Lethem later that day. In response, Brutus's lawyer, UC Anderson, described the ministry's claims as fictions of an overstimulated imagination. He challenged the ministry to provide evidence to support its allegations, noting that Brutus had appeared before Acting Chief Magistrate Faith McGusty just 2 days prior to the alleged incident without any mention of an attempted departure. Anderson emphasized that the magistrate, who oversees Brutus's passport and bail conditions, is in a better position to assess his conduct than the public or social media. He criticized the ministry for airing its grievances in the public domain instead of addressing the court. Additionally, Anderson raised logistical concerns about the alleged escape attempt, highlighting that travelers must pass through 2 checkpoints on the Guyana side before reaching the Tuschen Bridge. He questioned how Brutus could be intercepted if he had already cleared these checkpoints with valid travel documents. Furthermore, he noted the porosity of the Guyana-Brazil border during the dry season, suggesting that if Brutus had intended to flee, he would have taken a less scrutinized route. The timing of the incident, coinciding with the swearing-in of a new commissioner of police and deputies who may supersede Brutus, was also brought to attention, raising suspicions about the motivations behind the allegations. Anderson has demanded that the Ministry of Home Affairs provide evidence, including the name of the officer who allegedly intercepted Brutus, records of his travel documents, and footage of the incident. He also called for the release of photographs and video evidence from the police officers involved. Brutus has requested a public apology and retraction of the ministry's statement within 48 hours, by December 21, 2024.